Whoa. No. Stop it. Hello everybody, my name is Alex, but my pals call me Al, and today we are playing Autopsy Simulator. And you know, a little part of this channel, me starting this channel about a month ago, there's a little bit of masochism a part of it. Because I never played a horror game before starting this channel. What was my first game I played? The Quarry. Not too bad actually. I was pretty good at that. But since then, I'm playing Resident Evil right now. And now I'm playing Autopsy Simulator, which I can't say that I'm excited about it. Gore really gets to me. And what is more gruesome than ripping over a body? But we're gonna play it up until I maybe can return it on Steam. And we'll see if it's good. There's been like kind of mixed reviews on Steam. I think people were not sure because it says Autopsy Simulator. From what I'm gonna try to see based on the reviews is if it's too much story, like some of the negative reviews have said, or if it's a really good balance of like story and like simulator. I personally like more story-driven games, but I can understand when people are buying like a simulator game. And we'll see how it goes. Prologue.
Office of the Medical Examiner, Beatsville. Dr. Jack Hanman is speaking. How can I help you?
Good evening, this is Kate Brooks. I'm not sure if you remember me. A few weeks ago, we talked about an article I'm working on. It's about your wife. I dropped by last Friday to speak to you, but you weren't working at the time. I asked the security guard to pass on a note for me. I would like us to discuss the topic of...
I thought I had made it painfully obvious for the last time. No! Please don't call me again and stop inquiring about my wife. Damn journalists. They don't let me work. God damn it. I'm not in the best frame of mind to record a lecture for my students now. I'm feeling completely broken. Where did I leave my meds this time?
Oh, okay. Yeah, not the vibes I was thinking. Also, I just uploaded Duck Detective today, so if you haven't watched that, you should check it out. It's definitely, I'm calling it a palate cleanser. It's fun though. I actually had a really good time playing it. But it's kind of funny that the film noir thing and like the total opposite types. Obviously, the Duck Detective is like a humorous way of doing the film noir.
Pay me too little for this.
The voice acting is, I am pretty pleased. Hi, this is Kate Brooks, a reporter for the New Orleans Weekly. I couldn't find you at home. I'm starting to suspect you are avoiding me, Mr. Hanneman. Anyway, as you know, we'd like to write an article commemorating your wife's achievement. We would be delighted to talk to you about it. Oh, I was kind of assuming that the journalist was going to be asking about like her death or something, but her achievement. We would be delighted to talk to you about it. Along with this note, I'm also leaving my business card. I hope to find you at home or at the office. Okay, Mrs. Journalist, you're making a lot of typos. Oh, there's no back. Okay. Okay.
Stephen didn't clean up after himself again.
Oh, so Stephen is
needed for the next few months.
Won't be needed. Is it going to be winter time?
Wednesday.
It's November.
Not my favorite day, although it's certainly better than Monday.
I enjoy Wednesdays.
I guess it was in another life.
In another life. Oh, don't want that. Mm-hmm.
Awful. It would be good to finally repair the coffee machine.
Okay. All right.
Not very comfortable, but suitable for night shifts.
What are you? What are you? What are you? Okay. Check the bathroom for pills. All right. Ah! Where would you think is the bathroom? Storage. Out of order. Social room. No time for social time. Bathroom. Well, this is horrible.
Okay, time to pull myself together.
Some big ones. Why is the mirror broken?
And get back to work.
Get back to work. Okay. A hairbrush. You don't need to brush your hair. Alright. Okay.
I need to set the camera first.
Okay. Storage room. We already found that. Here. Oh, laboratory. I got all turned around. Where am I? That's office. Storage room. Here. Okay.
This place is starting to look like a hoarder's dream, rather than a storage room.
Rather than a storage room. I am dark and twisted and have some psychological trauma, so I talk like this.
Now remember, Jack, don't forget to hit the record button this time.
Alright, buddy. Why did they name him Jack, too? This is supposed to be like The Shining. What would we be recording? Place it on the tripod in dissecting room. Here?
Hopefully the new tripod is going to hold up.
Ah. Why is the... Oh, it's blurred. Thank you for blurring it. Ah! Don't, you gotta look. You can't keep your eyes... You can't take your eyes off a dead body! Okay.
Now, I just have to get everything in frame.
That all looks
This should be
to
fine.
be in frame.
November 20th, 1991. Time, 8:43 p.m.
You...
Recording for medical students from the University of Missouri.
Oh, I
This
see.
autopsy is conducted by Jack Hanman. Hello, everyone.
Handman.
Welcome to the autopsy room. Today, you will have the dubious pleasure of following a full autopsy, step by step. For those of you who have already performed your first autopsy, this will refresh your basic knowledge. In turn, for those whose knowledge is only theoretical, I advise not to watch this after a meal.
Okay. Apron, mask, goggles, gloves.
Let's start. Always wear an apron, mask, and gloves. Goggles are a must when the job is splashy. And in case of sharp accidents, it's worth having disinfectants at hand. It's true that you won't get ptomaine poisoning straight away, but if your liver or kidney aren't doing well, you may end up with diarrhea.
Is there an O in diarrhea?
The cadaver is placed on its back on the autopsy table. The pathologist stands on the right of the deceased. Make sure that all the necessary tools are always at hand so that you don't have to run around looking for something, like I do all the time.
You don't tell your students that.
In the process of revealing and securing forensic evidence, it is difficult not to interfere with the original condition of the deceased. Written and photographic documentation plays a vital role throughout the entire examination process. During your research, be patient, inquisitive, but above all, attentive to detail. Many entries are visible at first glance, but sometimes they can be cover for more interesting stories. And lastly, remember that nothing teaches you self-narration like working with the dead. So get used to that fact soon. Everyone will think you're talking to yourself.
These poor students are like, huh? Okay.
Now, onto the police folder. That will contain all sorts of pertinent information as to who the deceased might be and what potentially happened to them. So, let's take a closer look, shall we?
Here.
Let's start.
Oh. Here. Why does the voice remind me of something? Kind of reminds me like a little bit of the... Ooh, I don't like the top hat. A little bit reminds me of the American voice actor for Gojo. Sorry, I just got momentarily distracted. I don't want to click that off. This? No? Look through information provided in police folder. Here?
Some of my previous cases.
Oh.
A reminder of more prosperous times. I wasn't sure it would amount to anything, but the World Wide Web has been a blessing for speeding up my work.
Oh yeah, he said it was like 1991. Where do heck is the police folder? This? That says confidential on it. Here? This? Nope, those are cutting boards. Why would you... Okay. Nah. Eh? This. Police evidence file. Look through the information. Okay.
The deceased's name is Tobias Chambers, locally known as Old Toby. Homeless and unemployed for at least a couple of years.
Exit. Okay.
The deceased was found on the outskirts of a parking lot at a gas station, where he often begged and persistently offered drivers to wash their car windows. The body was noticed by a station employee during the morning shift. Initially, he thought that someone had thrown some boots and a coat in a nearby ditch. It took him a moment to recognize the pile of clothes as the body of a man.
Okay.
He worked most of his life at the local port dealing with unloaded cargo. He was fired for being drunk and starting fights. His son runs a hardware store on his own. His wife left him years ago. They both had no contact with the deceased.
Well, that's just depressing.
Signs of libation were found around the body. Empty bottles, traces of an inept attempt to start a fire, and a scattered makeshift blanket. That's it.
Bleak.
It's worth remembering the context around the scene of a death. This allows you to better interpret any traces found on the body. I shouldn't start the procedure without gloves.
Loves.
Now it's our turn to take some pictures for our files. If I can just remember where I left the camera. It's in here somewhere. Aha! There you are.
A Polaroid camera. I don't want to look at him.
As I mentioned at the beginning, before we begin the internal examination, we need to document the cadaver in the condition it arrived in. We begin with a full body photo. Try and stick to the top-down rule, but this is not always possible. Let's keep in mind it's all about the legibility, not the perfect frame.
Top down.
Voila. Now we move on to the next step. Looking for traces. Take your time. Look at the corpse from different
this is
sides.
not making me feel
from
good.
different angles, up close, and from a distance. You're looking for anything out of the ordinary.
Usually, for me, a dead body is out of the ordinary. I don't know about you. Well, not for you. Find marks. Here. Why can't I take it? Oh, zoom.
The boiler yield wound. Looks old. I'll take a closer look later.
Okay. This is terrible. Ooh, look at those bean toes. I don't. Oh, I am having a terrible time. Okay, I don't. Find marks. Oh, what happened to your noggin, buddy?
That's something interesting. It will be necessary to check whether this injury was severe enough to cause damage to the brain.
Well, I've never had a bruise like that on my noggin, so I would guess yes. Ah! Oh, nothing happened. Oh, no. Oh, no. What?
Hardened hands, worn out by physical work, and frostbite? Some wounds in the feet and signs of frostbite, probably because the subject's shoes were too small.
Okay, what next? What next?
In a moment, we will check which of our initial observations will be worthy of further consideration. But before we get to that, I need to write down some basic data.
Okay. What now? Perform the autopsy. Okay. Yeehaw. Okay. Okay. To the right. I know what my right is.
Scalpel, scissors, syringe, magnifying glass, knife. I guess I forgot to clean the knife.
Where is it? Where? Perform the autopsy. Do I not? Okay, do I not clean the knife? Ah, okay.
Personal information. The deceased was unclothed. Date. Okay, as you can see, I note everything down on previously prepared forms. Every pathologist must keep a detailed record of every step of the autopsy. This not only allows you to track the procedure, but also collates the results together, upon which you may back up your conclusions. So, enough of the boring prep. Let's begin by taking a closer look at the spots I photographed earlier. For this, you're going to need a magnifying glass.
Tab. Tools. Magnifying glass.
Which spot first? I can confirm the presence of ecchymosis on the deceased man's head. The appearance indicates the intravital nature of the wound. Add alcohol, which I can clearly smell. And this was an accident just waiting to happen. It looks like a burn mark. No doubt painful.
I'm feeling
But it's
woozy.
not pertinent for this case.
A burn mark? That looks like a bad appendix removal.
Here we can see frostbite on the fingertips. We can tell by the characteristic skin color.
Purple. I gotta look at the toes, don't I? Yeah, let me look at those
Definitely a
beans.
painful mix of frostbite, abrasions, and blisters. Old Toby had been wearing shoes too small for him for a very long time. That's if he wore any at all. So far, there are a lot of superficial wounds, but only one serious injury to the head. Let's go back to our notes.
Notes. Oh, wait. Here, and then shift for clipboard.
First, I mark the location of the injuries and make notes for each one. The head wound. Definitely an important clue. This is something we'll investigate first. Even though this type of wound didn't contribute to the deceased's death, we're still required to record it. We're not in frost season yet, but high humidity, wind, and the inability to warm up can also be causes of frostbite. If Toby's body was cold for a prolonged period, the frostbite could have resulted from the body's defense reaction. The safety of the internal organs is more important than fingers, nose, or ears. As you can see, we don't have much to go on. Let's write down what preliminary causes of death we can think of.
Bump to the noggin.
Various types of accidents are a common cause of death among the homeless and the elderly. Perhaps old Toby slipped and accidentally hit his head. This is of no interest to us. Considering the conditions in which he slept, the nights have been particularly nasty lately. We will check if there are any signs of freezing internally. Since the deceased clearly smelled of alcohol, I'll add alcohol poisoning to our list.
Put down the clipboard.
We still have one thing left from the basics. Rigor mortis.
What is that?
Well, we take our deceased by the hand,
Why?
gradually re-raise it, now let it go. As you can see, the hand falls loose. What's the conclusion? Death must have occurred more than 72 hours ago. The police information appears correct.
Baby, I don't feel great. What now?
Head trauma seems the most promising, so we'll start there.
What do you
For
mean?
this,
What do you mean select
I
the
need an
skull
oscillating
saw? What do you mean? Okay, I'm gonna cry. This might not be the game for me.
The cut is made from ear to ear.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh my god.
After which, we remove the skin and the top of the skull.
Oh no. You can just take it out like that?
We can see that the brain's cerebral gyri in both hemispheres are symmetric. The brain looks good. Let's take a cross section.
Bouncy. Why is it so bouncy? Wow. Ooh. Jiggle, jiggle. I like the way you jiggle, jiggle. Okay, what was I supposed to do? Leave the body? Okay. Sorry for playing with your brain, buddy.
Some pathologists prefer to examine organs without removing them. However, for me, it's much more convenient to examine them on a board, which we'll do now.
Which we'll do what now? Dissect the brain at the cutting board. Just chopping up some din-din. Okay, what?
Holding a long, narrow blade knife in the dominant hand, we slowly cut the
I'm
cranial
left-handed,
nerves on both sides, all the time pulling the brain towards us.
What do you want me to do here? Okay. I'm gonna run out of room on my desk.
So far, so good. The hematoma seems to have had no effect on the brain.
So what now? Turn to it. Okay.
We can rule the fatal accident out as well.
Okay. Exclude fall.
Brain is in good
Not
condition,
fall.
so we have no choice but to proceed to the internal examination of the other organs.
Oh, do we? Do we really gotta?
I grab a scalpel from my kit.
Scalpel.
The incision should be in the shape of a letter Y. We use a deep cut to reach all the way to the ribs and to penetrate the abdominal wall.
Did I do it? Oh.
All right. Now we peel back and separate the skin.
Do we? With an empty hand. Hand. Where's a hand tool? Okay. Oh. Oh. Oh, no.
Now, we need to remove the ribs. We'll need the loppers for this.
Jack the Ripper cut open the first. What do I need? Select the loopers and remove. Oh. Ah!
Quite a satisfying crunch.
Shut
So
up,
anyway,
freak.
After removing the cartilage tissue, we instantly notice two things. Firstly, there is no congestion of the internal organs. This means that although the deceased was hypothermic, it didn't kill him. Secondly, the deceased smoked like a chimney. So, we should take a closer look at those lungs. We can see widespread black and tarry deposits caused by smoke. Despite the tragic condition of the lungs, they are not the cause of death. Alice
Don't
smoked
smoke,
too.
kids.
It didn't kill her, but... what was I talking about?
I don't know, I got distracted.
Lungs. Yes. Advanced inflammation.
What now? Mark the damage on the clipboard. Oh. Bad. All of it circled. I don't know why I just did a circle with both of my hands. Okay. Yeehaw.
What now? The syringe. Now's a good time to collect some samples. Specifically 3. From the eye, the heart, and the bladder. I'm interested to see the concentration of alcohol in the body.
The eye.
Vitreous humor analysis is very useful in indicating long-term alcohol abuse.
That's very interesting, thank
5
you.
milliliters from the left ventricle should do it.
And then
And
bladder.
from the bladder, we draw about 10 milliliters of fluid. Now we take our samples to the centrifuge. But before I do that, I need to find my notebook. My dyscalculia means that I always double-check the settings. Please excuse me while I run and fetch it.
Don't talk to me. Oh my god. I'm almost at a half hour, so I am gonna cut this episode here. I know it's a bit of a cliffhanger, but I'm doing it. Will I play more? I don't know. I'm Okay, part of me is like a little, like the mystery of like medical examination is kind of fun. I used to watch House, and that was fun. The slow burn with the atmosphere and some of the cutting is not very fun at all for me. But if you guys really want me to keep playing, because you guys obviously enjoy my discomfort, I'll do it. I'll do it for you, because I care about you. We're pals. And if you want me to be tortured, that's just what palship is all about. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this. Check out other videos I have. I post new videos every day. So I'll probably see you tomorrow. Bye!